Good morning, KOTA territory. Welcome to your first sip here, episode 3131.
31?
Yes, it's kind of crazy.
Woo!
We've been doing this for quite some time now, which I am happy for. I'm Humberto Hida Sanchez.
And I'm Mimi Herrick. We're going to start off today with kind of a hard hitter, and then we'll get into the fun stuff later, right? Because I want to talk about misinformation, especially because it seems to be a pretty intense news climate right now, and I want people to make sure that they are getting the correct info from the correct places. So what is misinformation? There's two sort of types of misinformation and disinformation. There's some pretty distinct differences there. So misinformation is false or inaccurate information, which is getting the facts wrong, and disinformation is false information, which is deliberately intended to mislead, intentionally misstating the facts. And this is from the American Psychological Association. So just to differentiate there, disinformation is purposefully misleading someone. Misinformation is getting the facts wrong.
And, you know, something that I would also like to kind of point out, just because it is, you know, very much a big talking point now, and not trying to be controversial here, but it is something that people sometimes usually see when it comes to disinformation and misinformation. You know, take it how you will, but you know, how you feel and what you think necessarily shouldn't impact whether or not the source that you're getting it from is reliable and credible.
Yes.
You know, whatever an opinion is, that might be your opinion, but if the facts say otherwise, and that the facts are the facts, and those, you know, make sure that you get it correct.
Yes. I think one of the biggest things with that is how can you spot misinformation is you really need to be skeptical about what you're looking at. Always doubt something until you can prove it's true by verifying information on multiple sources. I'm a huge fan of going to multiple places for information, especially about current events. Obviously, our website is a great place to start, but if you want to find something nationally and kind of verify it with other national news sources, you can pick and choose how you might, but don't go for things that maybe aren't run by, you know, credible people. And
also
anyone can start a website.
Yeah, and it's something else, you know, pay attention to those .coms, .orgs, and .govs. But even then, even if you get a source from a .gov website, double check it, because even sometimes areas, .gov websites can be wrong. And also .org websites can be wrong as well. So just go ahead, you know, if you see something, make sure to double check it yourself with other sources, kind of cross-reference. That's a big kind of key factor as well. Make sure that if multiple sources say that is, you know, that shows those statistics, then those statistics could say something, it could mean something that is credible.
Another thing when it comes to surveys and statistics as well is you're going to want to look into their methodology. You know, you need to understand what their sample size was, how they're experimenting, how they're presenting the data. Those can all be things that lead to misinformation just based on scale and things like that. So again, when you're looking at charts, make sure you always go back to the original source. If it is a credible source that you're getting the statistics from, they often will have a link to the original study or the original research survey, whatever, so that you can go back and check it for yourself just to verify that what they're telling you is true.
Yeah, and you know, like I said, most importantly, as I mentioned earlier, it all comes down to, you know, kind of consider your role in this. You know, you are the more important part of this aspect of it. You know, make sure that you are able to kind of check those sources, cross-reference those sources, make sure that you're kind of evaluating the content, and you get the right info out there. But enough of the...
I wanted to give one more, but I was going to say, sorry, before we wrap up here, I just want everyone to understand that misinformation is not a new concept, but because of the nature of misinformation sometimes really grabbing onto algorithms on social media, it can seem sometimes like those misinformed things get uplifted. Another easy hack that I have for if you see a video online and you're not sure if it's actually from what people are saying it's from, you can always reverse Google image search it and find the original source that way. That is my favorite way to verify that video and images are real.
Yeah, especially with AI nowadays. You have to make sure you do that, and you have to make sure that you know where that picture or video is coming from, because that has been a big issue as of lately that definitely needs to be looked into. But something, you know, kind of moving away from some
Now we get to have fun.
Yes, moving away from that
hard news topic. Now we can talk about the fun stuff.
PSA on kind of helping you stay informed and stay informed correctly. But anyways, fun topic, mushrooms.
Mushrooms,
specifically edible mushrooms, not the illegal ones, we're talking about the ones that you can cook and the ones that you can...
Yeah, like the ones on your pizza.
Yes, the ones on your pizza and the ones that you can find around the Black Hills. Specifically, there are just under 250 or around 248 mushroom species that you can find around the Black Hills and that you yourself can mushroom hunt. And kind of talking a little bit about these, you know, it is very important that you make sure that the mushrooms you're looking at, the mushrooms you find, are edible. There is a very few amount of those 248 mushrooms that you can eat. Approximately, I want to say, if I remember correctly from the
240
website,
that exist here.
Yes. Only six, seven.
Six that you can eat. Don't eat random wild mushrooms.
According to I was gonna say according to South Dakota Fungi, you know, that's one of the websites that we got our info from. It's southddakotafungi.com, and you can look for yourself. They have a really great resource in there for edible and medicinal mushrooms there.
There's some really interesting stuff on that website as well as in terms of the person who runs it. Like there's a huge community, and it seems like it's a working sort of guide to mushrooms in our state. So yeah,
find, you know, what kind of morels, I believe they're called morels, the ones that are
the ones with the holes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But there's specific ones that you have to be on the lookout for that. But there's only a few. But out of those, again, like I said, out of 248, only a couple, like very few, are actually edible. The other ones are toxic or can be toxic to you. So kind of best way to kind of look out for this, proper identification. Know what you're looking for. Go out with somebody. Go out with an expert so that way you get firsthand practice. Ask around groups. Safety first. My new favorite phrase now, when in doubt, throw it out. If you're not 100% sure that you can eat that mushroom, throw it out. Don't take a chance. It's not good for you.
Yes, yeah. One thing that I saw as well on that line is don't use the internet only to identify your mushrooms. Make sure that you are identifying everything properly, going to experts, people who study mycology, which is the study of mushrooms. Those people are going to have a lot better information than just kind of being like, I think this mushroom is edible because I saw a picture on the internet. Is not a safe way to do it.
And according to the John C. Campbell Folk School, that's another resource you can use. It's called folkschool.org. They made a good point saying that some mushrooms that aren't edible look pretty similar to the ones that are edible.
Yes.
So that's another good reason why you shouldn't go off pictures, because you might get duped if you do that, and that's not good. But yeah, so start slow too. You know, if you're starting to get into this field, don't rush into it. Do extensive research into some of the mushrooms around the Black Hills.
Yes.
And do some extensive research and take time to learn about it.
There are some great resources as well in terms of books and guides. One that I saw shouted out a lot in my research that I was looking at is Mushrooms of the Upper Midwest by Teresa Marone. I would say that is probably a good starting point if you're going to start, you know, trying to identify mushrooms on your own. Read that book, read through what they have there, kind of work your way through that, maybe pick one at a time that we know is common here that you can go and find, and if you find it, you can practice using those skills that these books will teach you so that you're safe.
And also find almanacs. There's a ton of almanacs around here about Midwestern plants, herbs, and stuff like that you can find yourself, you know, and like I said, you do your research before you go out there. There's a ton of groups, even on Facebook. There's a ton of mushroom hunting groups on Facebook.
And people meet up to do it together too. Like it can be a fun community building activity if you're looking for a way to get outside and maybe learn something new while you're at it too.
And talking about community building, we're actually talking about farmers markets next, because those are something that I grew up kind of going to
I love
back
a farmer's
home.
market.
They're lovely, but the only issue with the one I had back home was that it ends
only
in the winter.
The summer. Yeah, I know. I think I know how you're feeling because farmers markets where I'm from as well.
Yeah,
we're from the same place.
But did you know that here in the Black Hills it goes year round?
I actually found that out, and it is incredible. Honestly, it's incredible that people can come together at least once a week, even in the winter, to shop locally and like spread that kind of joy.
Yep, and it's kind of crazy because I didn't know that, and I didn't know you could have a farmer's market go year round because I was not exposed to that. But now that I know, I'm actually really happy because, again, like you mentioned, community building, that helps build the community, helps you support the small businesses and local farmers that work year-round to get you some of those fresh produce.
And here in Rapid City, there's the Black Hills Farmers Market, and that is, I'm only talking about summer hours right now, so everyone, summer hours only right now. Saturdays from 8 to 1 from May to October, and then Wednesday from 8 to 1 from July to October. And the mission for the Black Hills Farmers Market is to develop connections between producers and consumers for the benefit of the local community. And their vision is to grow their partnership with the whole community by opening avenues for producer success. And I think that's one of my favorite things about a farmers market is it is such a great way to shop locally, support small businesses, and also maybe find some healthy treats that you wouldn't have found otherwise.
Yes, I like to get I remember at least one point, I used to get my honey a lot from the farmers market.
Oh my God,
I used to go there a
honey
lot more. I have to get back in the habit of doing that.
It's
But
so
I used to get my
fun.
honey. The honey. Oh man.
I'm a huge fan of, you know, a Saturday morning activity, grabbing a coffee at the farmers market and kind of just perusing around to see if anything strikes my fancy.
Yeah.
Because I mean, there's so much good stuff.
Yeah, no, and I mean, when I first moved out here, I used to spend a lot of time there, get a lot of corn, get a lot of produce from there,
The corn
just because
is
it's really good around this area.
exquisite.
Yeah. And recently, I mean, even at the Renaissance Fair this last weekend, I got myself some honey, and it was really good. The honey around this area is phenomenal.
Incredible.
I was like, and I'm not. I was like, I'm not going to try to, like, I guess say promote, you know, that this is the best honey, but it is some of the best honey I've had ever. And
South Dakota has some really incredible fresh produce and products at farmers markets. One of the things that I saw on the website was they have a section of what's fresh in each month. And for July, since we're coming up on it, it's pretty much June is over, so I'm skipping over that. We've got peas, onions, broccoli, zucchini, beans, cherries, apricots, peaches, strawberries, lettuce, Swiss chard, kale, garlic scapes, microgreens, asparagus, radishes, mushrooms, rhubarb, tomato, cucumbers, carrots, green onions, fresh herbs, choke cherries, and other live plants.
You said peaches, and I thought of peach cobbler, right?
Oh my God, I know. The best summer dessert, honestly, or like a peach turnover. Oh, so good.
With some, it's like nice and warm with some vanilla ice cream.
My personal favorite summer pie is strawberry rhubarb.
Oh.
How do you feel about that?
I love
a strawberry rhubarb pie.
It's just, you know, it's one of those, at least in my personal opinion, maybe some of our viewers might agree, but I honestly, rhubarb, I'm so unfortunate that's very seasonal. And
I wish it was year-round.
I know, if it was year-round, oh man, let's just say I'd be making rhubarb pies almost every other.
They're so good.
Yeah. Sometimes you crave it in the winter and you just can't find it because it's seasonal, and it's unfortunate. But yeah, no, and something that you mentioned on Good Morning Black Hills that I didn't even realize you could get were gift cards.
Yeah, you can get gift cards. I found that crazy when I was looking on the website today. I was just looking around, just making sure I had everything to tell you guys, obviously. And I found that they have gift cards, which is awesome.
Yes,
that is a great way to give a gift of not only, you know, getting to get some fresh produce or other products, but, you know, build community as well.
Exactly. No, and at the end of the day, yes, I was gonna say, at the end of the day, I mean, it just all, you know, farmers markets are so critical to, you know, a small, I guess, in a way, I'm going to say this, in a small town, right? Even though Rapid City is the second largest city in South Dakota, it's still fairly small compared.
Yes. It has that small community-based feel.
Yeah, I was going to say, compared to like all the big cities.
Compared to Chicago.
Yeah, Chicago, New York, Los Angeles, all the big cities. I mean, you know, still, it's very critical to have a farmers market in small, medium-sized towns, even in large cities. It's very critical to have these because, again, it just not only promotes small businesses, it promotes the local people in the area. It also promotes health, well-being, receiving those fresh, natural produce that you know.
And knowing where your food comes from too is incredibly important.
And exactly, and especially around here, especially when it comes to ranching and meat. Even you know, if you are able to, I'm not quite sure. I should have done my research at the farmers market this year, but I'm, you know. Even if it's not at a farmer's market, you still get that information of how they grew it, of how it's being produced, of where it came from, and stuff like that.
Another thing that is cool about the farmer's market here is they also have the library bookmobile. So if you have a library card, you can go and check out books as well, which just makes it, I mean, for me, even better. I'm totally a bookworm, so I'm just another tidbit of fun.
Yes, exactly. And, you know, supporting your sustainable practice, ask them how they grew it. Ask, you know, I'm pretty sure they'll give you how you can grow your own corn at home, or how you can grow your own little produce at home. Have a little tomato plant and, you know, kind of grow your own tomatoes and stuff like that. But, you know, aside from that, also educational purpose, educational opportunities. Again, as mentioned, you know, you get that education on how you can grow your own things and how you can be smarter about your food choices when it comes to your dinner table and the stuff that you use for a daily consumption. But with that being said, thank you for joining us here on First Sip. It has been a pleasure to bring you episode 31 here today. It's crazy to think
31, yeah.
Yes.
Insane. We'll see you not next week because it's a holiday, but the week after.
So we will see you back here in 2 weeks. But for now, thank you for tuning in. It's been a pleasure to kind of talk to you this morning, and we hope you have a wonderful rest of your Thursday morning.